Welcome to the Family Law Channel. I'm Scott Drake. Dr. Conrad Murray, the man who was convicted of manslaughter in the death of Michael Jackson, was sentenced to 4 years in county jail for the manslaughter charges. The judge, I guess, essentially throwing the book at Dr. Murray for among several reasons, one being his lack of remorse and his inability, I think, to admit that he had anything to do with it. My guest is the host of the Family Law Channel, retired Judge Eugene Hyman from the Superior Court of Santa Clara, California. Judge Hyman, welcome back.
Thank you.
There are no big surprises here, I guess, on the sentencing. Can you talk about what's, in this type of a situation, what's going through a judge's mind when he's looking at sentencing an individual like that?
Sure. First, I think the judge telegraphed that what he was going to do when he remanded the defendant into custody and didn't set bail, because Dr. Murray certainly wasn't a flight risk, certainly wasn't going to be in a position to be able to do additional harm since he's not practicing medicine. Under the California law, when a person is convicted of a felony, the presumption is that they will be remanded and that bail will be set. But on the other hand, for good cause, a judge doesn't have to do that. So the fact that the judge remanded him and didn't set bail indicated to me that he was ultimately going to give him a prison commitment as compared to giving him a county jail or a probation eligible commitment. And the question is, how much time was he going to give him? And I suspected that after it came out in terms of Dr. Murray's interview, whereby he indicated that he didn't feel that he was at fault for Michael Jackson's death, that indicated to me that he was probably going to get the maximum of 4 years in state prison.
Now, because this is manslaughter, it's county jail for him, which probably leads us all to believe that he's not going to be in custody very long.
Well, I mean, technically, it's a state prison commitment, and he was given in California, there's a triad, so the mitigated term is 2 years for involuntary manslaughter. The midterm is 3 years, and the upper or aggravated term is 4 years. And under California sentencing law, a judge can do 2, 3, 4, and has to give reasons for decision. Actually, under California law, when a case is probation eligible, which this crime is, the presumption is that you're going to receive probation. When a judge does not give or grant probation, there has to be reasons in terms of why probation is denied. And one thing that the judge did in this particular case is he gave lots of reasons for all of his decisions, which I think is the appropriate thing to do. But the thing that's interesting is that usually when you have a judge hammer a defendant, almost always the defendant is testified, and the jury didn't believe him, the judge didn't believe him, and you lose points for credibility. Here, Dr. Murray didn't testify. That's number one. Number two, apparently he wasn't totally honest with respect to the police. A real big negative factor was the delay in calling the ambulance for Michael Jackson, and he probably panicked, and he did try to apparently cover his tracks. So that certainly can be reasonably argued that in the totality of the circumstances that deserves a prison sentence versus a probation sentence. But in terms of the factors that the judge gave for a 4-year sentence versus a 2-year or 3-year sentence, I think reasonable minds can disagree. Giving the judge credit for the fact that he was there and I wasn't, it's really difficult to in fairness, say that he was unreasonable.
Well, putting yourself in his position, I wanted to ask you, because one of the things you brought up here is that it would be typical of most defendants to not show any kind of remorse, especially if they're trying to get themselves acquitted. And since he didn't testify, and the only thing I think the judge had to go on was the fact that he apparently did not tell the truth to the police, and he didn't call an ambulance as soon as he possibly could have. I mean, put yourself in this judge's place. What was probably going on during the trial that led him to say, man, you showed no remorse, and I'm going to give you everything you deserve?
Well, I really think there's different philosophies with respect to probation report. Some lawyers will instruct their clients that they only, when they have the opportunity to talk to the probation officer in preparation of the report, that they'll only talk about social factors, that is their history in terms of growing up, education, things like that. Some lawyers will instruct their clients to be truthful with probation and talk about the particular crime. Maybe I was under the influence of illegal drugs. I was abused as a child, and I've been a substance abuser for years. Those kinds of things. I haven't had an opportunity to read the probation report, and I don't know whether Dr. Murray actually talked to the probation officer at all, or he was instructed by his attorney not to. I suspect that Dr. Murray did not talk to the probation officer at all on instructions, especially since he's going to be appealing the verdict on the theory that he didn't, in fact, violate the law.
Well, Judge, we're going to have to call this one short here because I think we're losing you on your phone. Are you in a parking garage? Are you in a bunker of some kind?
No.
Okay, all right. Well, we appreciate you taking the time to share all your knowledge with us. Thank you, Judge.
Thank you.